This is Advanced Math 10.8 Review Number 2 Worksheet Homework Questions. Alright, so you should have this worksheet was handed out in class, or you picked it up from Clovis West, or you printed it off your printer, off your computer. Okay, so I'm going to go over a few of these with you, starting with number 1. Okay, number 1, the limit as x approaches 4 of the function x squared plus 3x minus 28 over x minus 4. Remember the rules from the notes. You try to plug in 4. That's the first thing you try to do. But plugging in 4 gives me 0 in the denominator, which does not mean D and E right away. You have to try things. Factor, clear a complex fraction, multiply by the conjugate. There's a few things we can try. In this case, you can tell it's one we're going to factor. Double bubble. X into x plus and minus plus 7 minus 4. And then x minus 4, and it reduces, leaving behind just the x plus 7. And then that's where you go and plug it in. And you do 4 plus 7 equals 11, and that's it. You are done. And I want to say there were answers somewhere that you could check. Maybe not on this worksheet. Okay, moving on. Number 4. Okay, number 4 is the limit as x approaches 0 of 3 minus the square root of 9 minus x over x. Okay, so again, you try to plug in, but when you plug in on this, you end up getting 0 in the denominator, and you don't want 0 in the denominator, so you factor, conjugate, whatever it may be. This is a conjugate problem. I can tell because of the radical. So I'm going to multiply by 3 plus the square root of 9 minus x over 3 plus the square root of 9 minus x. Plus, because it's the conjugate, that was a minus, so now it is a plus. Remembering, when you double distribute a conjugate, the middle terms always cancel out. So I'm just going to focus on the first terms and the last terms. You can multiply the whole thing. The middle terms will cancel out. 3 times 3 is 9. Minus 9 minus x with the root times the root of 9 minus x. The radicals undo each other, leaving behind 9 minus x. But be careful, you need to put parentheses here because that's a negative you will have to distribute. Don't distribute the x at the bottom because you're hoping it's going to reduce. It always does reduce at the end. Okay, 9 minus 9 plus x over x parentheses 3 plus the square root of 9 minus x. Whew, that's a whole mouthful. 9 minus 9, they undo each other. I'm left with x over x, 3 plus the square root of 9 minus x. Still a lot to say. The x is reduced, leaving behind 1 over 3 plus the square root of 9 minus x. And now we're ready to plug in. 1 over 3 plus the square root of 9 minus 0. 1 over 3 plus 9 minus 0 is 9. 1 over 3 plus 3, which is 1 over 6. Okay. Let's see. What is the next one I do want to do? I'll do number 2. I know that's backtracking, but I do want to talk about that one. Number 2, the limit as x approaches infinity of 5x plus 7 over 4x minus 2. You don't do any plugging in. This is where, when it's approaching infinity or negative infinity, is where you do the shortcut, the top heavy, bottom heavy are the same. It is the same. So you take your leading coefficients, which is 5 and 4, so your answer is simply 5/4. No extra work needed. Okay, Next one I'm going to do is number 6, and I'll squeeze number 6 in here. There is enough room. Number 6 is f of x equals x plus 8 over 6, and they're asking you to find the asymptotes, I believe, ba, ha, sa. And since there's no variable at the bottom, we've said this before, everything is none. None, none, and none. Okay, moving on. I am going to do one from the worksheet at the bottom, the going backwards section. So I will be doing number 15. Y equals, let's see, -2, +2, and they're both opposite directions, so multiplicity is 1, plus 2, minus 2. Oh, there's no holes. X-intercept, it's 1, but it's a bounce, so it's at 0. X minus 0 is just x, and it's squared because of the bounce. And the horizontal is 3, which means it should be the same degree top and bottom, which it is, which means I need a leading coefficient of 3, so I put my 3 in there, and that is the answer. Check your y-intercept. 0 squared is 0 times 3 is 0, over 2 times -2 is still 0, and that is indeed is your y-intercept. All right, that is it for these homework questions.